We're live.
So, okay, there we go.
There we
I
go.
just went dark for a second there. Eek. Okay.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
I'm Michelle Plazik, Remax Realty Advantage, and this is
Kim Malden, Remax Realty Advantage.
And we are here in the beautiful Imagine Home again, only we're in a different spot. We're at Menke Park.
And thank y'all, Imagine Homes, for letting us do this from your houses. We really appreciate it.
Menke Park. What do we tell them about Menke Park?
Oh, I love this part of town. It's one of my favorites. It's right across from Brackenridge Park and the Whitty Museum, and there's so much to do over here. Great restaurants, museums, the park, close to downtown. Just one of my favorite parts of town. This is where I started looking when I first started looking to buy a house in San Antonio when I moved back from Georgia. Really, really cute cottages and mission-style homes here. So,
And Imagine Homes is putting up these adorable kind of
cottages.
A row house is what I think of it.
Yep.
Very narrow.
They're shotguns.
16 feet.
15 feet wide, yeah.
And just really cute.
They are. They're super cute. I would live in one if I didn't have 3 dogs, 3 kids, a husband, and me.
Yeah.
It'd be a little crowded for all of us.
Certainly would.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today, Kim?
Christmas, traditions, recipes, and how to sell your house during the holidays. 'Cause
Okay.
nobody wants to do that.
And I have a little dilemma. I had one client who just listed her house for sale. She said, do I put up a tree? Do I not put up a tree? I say, put your tree up and enjoy Christmas and let people work around it. I think everybody is expecting to see a Christmas tree.
And part of buying a home is the emotion. I mean, we just talked about it. You had someone that was very emotional about a house when they saw it. And, what evokes more emotion than, picturing your family at Christmas enjoying a new home. And so when it's all staged and beautiful for Christmas, and it makes it cozier, and I think it's very helpful if you're selling a home at this time of year to have that.
I think they were just a little confused because we tell them to declutter and get everything out and move all that small
put up
furniture
a tree
out.
with 200 ornaments on it. True. That is a little confusing.
Very confusing.
So definitely.
So what else? What kind of traditions did you have while you were growing up, and how is it different from what you do now?
Well, so I grew up in San Antonio, moved away and moved back. So my food traditions are all still very San Antonio. We were just talking about tamales, which she's not a fan of, but I am, because every Christmas Eve we had tamales. And no, I'm not a fan of menudo, but I know a lot of San Antonians are. And I don't care if your mother washes everything 20 times. I still don't like it. But so my husband's tradition, though, is fajitas. So we have fajitas on Christmas Eve and tamales on Christmas Eve. And, of course, we do buñuelos as well on New Year's Eve. So that's a food tradition that we do. As a kid, my mom and my grandma always baked cookies for Christmas, and so we're actually going to do that at her house tomorrow, baking an exchange. And if you want the recipes that I'm baking, send me a message or comment on my page, and I will send you those recipes. So we're doing that. And what else? Let's see. We used to do Christmas Eve Mass. My grandparents were Catholic, and so with them we did Christmas Eve Mass. We do Christmas Eve service. I'm not Catholic, but still go to church. We never put up our Christmas tree until after December 11th, because that's my birthday. And so my mom always wanted to make sure they were 2 separate events. Thank you, Mom. So
that's nice of her.
Yeah. She always got upset if I got birthday presents wrapped in Christmas wrap, or if somebody tried to give me one gift for 2 holidays.
Oh, how funny.
Well, if my birthday was in June, that wouldn't have happened.
That's being a good mom.
Hi, Maria. Yeah, she's great.
I don't remember too many traditions from my childhood. I didn't have that Norman Rockwell family experience, but we moved away when our kids were little, moved away from what we considered home. So we started our own traditions. I always wanted to be able to make it just our own little thing. So we, unfortunately, we gave them a ton of presents, but one present was opened up on Christmas Eve, and it was always pajamas.
Yeah.
So that they could look good for the pictures the next morning when they were opening up their presents.
There you go.
We've done the
Thank you,
pickle in
Maria.
the tree. Have you ever done
Yep,
that?
we do the pickle in the tree.
We've done that before.
And we just decorated our tree, and I can't find my pickle. It's gone. And my husband had a wisecrack about that. So,
well, I think when I was young, the only thing that I can remember is our Christmas Eve was a big deal, and it was like lots of food out on the table. And then Christmas Day was pretty low key. So we do that as well now with our family. We always made our favorite appetizers. Each one of the kids would make them, and we'd spend the day just cooking and making those appetizers, and then have our big shindig. And if we knew of anybody the night before, hey Joe, if we knew of anybody that was also not able to have any family around, we would invite them. And so over the years, it's turned out that our Christmas Eve is pretty big.
Yeah.
And Christmas Day, we just like to hang around.
Yeah.
Because we never had any place to go, we just love to stay in our pajamas all day long and play the new games or watch the new movies or whatever it was.
Absolutely. Well, when I was a kid, I had like the Christmas smorgasbord. We did presents on Christmas Eve at my grandparents' house. So like the presents from my grandparents to us and vice versa. And then Christmas morning, Santa would have come. And so we would do Christmas at home, come down the stairs and there's all the presents, or, around the corner, whichever house we were in. And then of course Santa visited my grandparents' house as well. So we would go back over there. And then like a lot of kids today, and actually a lot of people my own age, their parents were divorced, and so I had Christmas at my dad's house Christmas night. So yeah, there's certainly, you shouldn't get divorced if you can avoid it, but for your kids at Christmas,
there's benefits.
There was a benefit. Terrible to say, but
have you done Elf on the Shelf? We never did that.
No.
That's kind of came after my kids were.
Yeah, and I got my kids just like 4 years ago, and they were all teenagers, so kind of didn't work. But I love watching my friends who have little kids, and they're so creative with what they do with that thing. Oh my gosh, I think that's more work than I can put in.
So, do you know where the Christmas tradition of the tamales came in? I just don't. People have different food experiences and traditions throughout the
world.
Country, in the world, of course. But in our family, it was always the Italian dishes because obviously we're Italian.
Yeah.
And you're not Mexican, you're German, but you don't do the German traditions.
Well, the cookies that we make are German cookies.
Okay.
Not the ones I'm making with you, but like my mom and my grandma always made anise cookies and rocks. But the rocks you had to make in October to make sure that they were actually rocks.
What are rocks?
By the time Christmas got here.
I want to eat rocks.
My grandfather loved those things. Those were his favorite cookies. And then Date Delights, which are like a meringue cookie, and the weather always had to be perfect for those. And my grandmother used to make Divinity for my grandfather.
That's all German?
Well, I don't know if Divinity is or not, but the others were, yeah. And then at Thanksgiving, we used to have heart for Thanksgiving dinner instead of turkey. Heart,
like beef heart?
Yeah, beef heart, yeah. And it was really rich, and I used to love it when I was a kid. I think I made it a few years back, and I was like, nope, not a fan anymore.
So if anybody's on there right now, what was your tradition?
Hey, Debbie. And Carol's there now.
Type it in. Type a tradition in. So
Maria, what's your tradition?
What we've been doing lately while they're typing it in.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We have a visitor in the house, so I think one of us is going to break away to see what's going on.
Nina's going to take care of it.
So.
This is the first time this has happened where we've had a visitor come in on one of our...
I always say the best way to get people into a model home is do something you shouldn't really be doing in the model. But they know we're doing it, so we're not in trouble. So, but what are y'all's traditions? Let's see. Joanne, Debbie, Carol, Maria, anybody got a tradition they want to share with us that we haven't already covered? Because we used to go to the Christmas lights, drive around, see the Christmas lights.
Go see the Christmas
and
lights.
Windcrest was and always has been, I think, a great neighborhood to go through. So if you want to do that, Windcrest, you can stop in at their city hall and they'll give you a map to go through. Don Strange Ranch does great Christmas lights. Who else? There's a
Incarnate Word has a beautiful
do.
display.
Their trees are all lit up.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Of course, the Riverwalk.
Riverwalk,
is a good place
absolutely.
to go.
Yeah. Go have some Christmas tamales.
I still don't get that tamale thing. But I guess it's just the mixing it. Well, I guess you have to be here in San Antonio to see it, to believe it, because people will stand in line. There are very long lines that go all the way around HEB waiting for the tamales.
Well, or you drive the south
wherever.
side, the west side, and you find this little. There's great places all over town,
and people are selling them like they'll come to your office door, and they'll say, "Would you like to buy tamales?" And they bring them in by the dozens.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I have friends whose moms make tamales, and so if I know someone who makes just the best, I'm like, "Hey, does your mom have an extra couple dozen I can buy?"
Yeah.
So anyway, but hey, we're running out of time. We don't want to keep you guys forever, so certainly. We will see you next Wednesday. I think we have one more Wednesday to go before Christmas.
Yeah. What are we talking about next Wednesday?
What are we talking about? Home security. Home security. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
We're so glad we have Nina. We love her.
She keeps us on track. Anyway, thanks for joining us today.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.